Okay, van life. My lighting is horrible. Let me see. Let's open the door. If I open the door, my van battery dies, which is very usual but unusual. I would like to be able to turn off or some kind of pressure on whatever is making the door realize it's open, put something on it to make it think it's closed so that I can keep my door open and get a breeze. And sometimes you just want to look out, and I have my pillows propped where it's like I'm sitting because I do that, take my pajamas down. Um, but yeah, being single in a van. People will say, well, you're single because you're trying to work on you or whatever. Well, I did that for many, many, many damn years. Like, since 2011, December 2011, I've been working on me. I think by now I've figured me out, figured you out by then, you know? So it's okay if I want to welcome a friendship or whatever. The problem is because the game was played on me, I don't trust anyone. And that's a bad position to be in, which in the same time is good because you shouldn't put your trust in anyone. Because when you do, man is human and man will disappoint. So we shouldn't put our trust in him anyway. But just to say, I deserve love, I deserve companionship, I deserve friendship, I deserve compatibility. And I want a harmonious relationship. I want us to be friends first. I want us to celebrate our differences and learn from one another. And if he's right, I'll know it. And if he's wrong, I'll know that too. But either way, it's just been too many games played. So I prefer at this moment to not. Will that change next week? Maybe because I'm even entertaining the thought. And it was one time I wasn't even entertaining the thought because I was seeing about me. One thing I want to do is I'm tired. Like yesterday, I felt like giving up van life, and I don't want to give up van life. I love van life. I just need circulation. My legs were bothering me. I'm being cooped up in here because I have to still rest my headaches and stuff like that. And this shoulder pain lets me know I'm still threatening a stroke. But I need to stretch. And if you normally in your house, you get up, you walk to the kitchen, you walk to the bathroom, you do different things. But when you're in the van, you're stuck like Chuck. So for me, I don't want anybody. I don't want somebody who ain't got nothing going for themselves. And there's differences in relationships. You can say, I want someone who's well-rounded. You can say, I want someone who's successful. You can say, I want someone who's down to earth. You can say, whatever. I want the total package. I want to have everything. I want that 80/20. And because for someone, I'm that 80/20. Because one man's is another man's treasure. Not to call anyone junk or anything. It's just that we're not compatible. Um, and then I looked at how older women dating all these younger guys, like, damn, cougarism is booming. And I prefer to have somebody on my age limit level, and not to say that because I do get ages nothing but a number because those who are first shall be last. And sometimes you can be very knowledgeable and in a young body. I was 5 years old hanging with 16-year-old girl because I enjoyed the company of older people and I learned. Um, or you can get somebody that you still got to raise. And I'm not attracted with that at all. I'm not trying to make you line up or anything. There was a past me who thought, you got to get your stuff together and you need to be this or that. It's not my job to make you who you are. It is your job to rise to the occasion and be who you're created to be. And then we can unite. But we first have to know ourselves, what we're capable of, what we will and won't take, and set our boundaries, our likes, our dislikes, know who we are. And I'm not really finding that. And I can see what I was going to with the dating the younger guy. When I'm looking at men, it's like, oh, he looked good. Oh, but he may not be your age. I'm forgetting I got gray now. I'm still looking with those pair of eyes that I had, looking as a younger girl and thinking that's my type. He's not even in the age group. And I had to remember that. And I said, maybe that's how these old women be getting tricked. You still looking with those pair of lenses that you had and desires that you had in your younger days, but you've evolved. And in that evolving, I'm going to need somebody who can level up to my frequency. I want somebody who's one with nature, who understands what I'm talking. I want somebody who can even teach me to expound on my learning and my awareness. And my battery may run out, so I'm going to plug my charger in when I'm talking in a minute. I'll wait because my video may click off before my 15% runs out. Because for some reason, I'm still only able to record 30 minutes on my camera. And no one's telling me why. So, because I took my phone to the store and they was like, well, get a memory chip. Okay, I got the memory chip, but why does it cut off at 30? So anyway, long story short, I'm 54, possibly gonna make it to 55 in July, the end of July. Today is my offspring's birthday. Her born day. Tomorrow is my sister and brother's born day. My mother had them 3 years apart, but on the same day. That's something to be said about that energy. I'm unique. I'm a Leo. My Aquarius is rising in my 5th house. And I am power. And I'm powerful. And not that, ooh, I do magic. No, I'm one with the planet. I feel what the planet feels. I go through different things. When the weather change, I change. People want to call it bipolar. Not me. I've never been diagnosed, but I'm just saying doctors will label somebody with bipolar instead of they're just connected to the planet. You know, you can be up one minute and down the next. Well, shit, it rain one minute and the sun come out. Why we don't call the weather bipolar? I call it bipolar because where I'm at, the sun be shining and then out of nowhere it rain and then it dries up because the planet cries. So we got to understand it's deeper than what we've been taught. So we pick up that energy. So just like you have winter, spring, summer, and fall, you're going to have times where your energy changes. And you have to celebrate that and go with that and know with that. And for me, one thing I do is I get out of me what I have allowed someone's energy to put in me. When you've attacked me and done things to me, I have to expel that energy. And how I expel it is verbally. Because if I write it down, I may manifest it. And manifest your death. So I'm careful about my scripting. Knowing who you are and what's in you. I text my son the other day because I saw a dog biting at a man's foot. And I heard Jovan in my mind's eye. So I text him because I want to make sure, he ain't doing nothing and somebody's dog caught him. No, talking to the kids. Oh, we visiting and we playing with the dog. Jovan got a dog. Oh, but he didn't say he had a dog. You know what I'm saying? But I seen the dog. So those are my gifts. When my kids injure themselves, I feel it. I didn't feel my son leaving the earth, and it doesn't feel like he's left the earth. It doesn't feel like I've connected with the dead. I don't get that energy. And I feel like somebody's lying to me. Then they kept me from the funeral. So if you don't see somebody dead in the casket, it's like they still alive. And you want to keep that memory alive, because when you see them in that casket, for me, I keep playing it. But I had a whole life with them. We did so many things, but all I could focus on is seeing them still at that time. And that's the worst energy, and I hate it. And so my son went to a funeral with me one time. When he walked in, saw that body lined up, he jetted out that door. His energy, he don't play with that. And he's Choctaw and Cherokee. So he got a double dose. And he's enlightened, just as I am, which I believe all my children are. All my offsprings are enlightened. We all have different gifts. Most people on the planet have a different gift. Most people. Some just don't hear and some just don't see. And we have to understand the Bible told us, to those who have an ear and those who have eyes to see. So everybody can't. And I had to come to that awareness just recently. And I was always quoting it, but I actually got the true meaning of what that meant. Just like the brain has a transmitter that accepts THC that's in the brain, and the only thing it receives is THC. Some don't have this. To some, a prophet. To some, a pastor. To some. So when we understand that, they really can't see. And it's really falling on deaf ears. So what I'm learning is, we are draining ourselves when we try to tell them. This is why they say don't wake them up. Because when you wake a person up, they get angry. And, why are you waking me up? I ain't got to get up to, 7 o'clock. Why are you waking me up at 5? So we're taking their dreams away, their hope away, and telling them the truth, because what they thought they were building everything on was a lie. So for them to have to go back to the drawing board and learn something else, that's homework. I know it all. I got my degree. I'm a pastor. I'm a teacher. I'm a principal. I'm a lawyer. I'm a doctor. You can't tell me nothing. It's re-educating yourself. It's relearning. And most people don't want to do that. I used to read a lot, but I've gotten away from that. I don't know if it was vision. My vision got poor and I just lost it. I've lost interest in a lot of things I used to do. People say, well, I had a cousin reminding me of all those things I used to do. And I don't even know how to do them anymore, because that's how many years it's been that I've done those things. Those were in my younger years when I was creating art and doing needlepoint and different things and ceramics and stuff. My aunt taught me ceramics when I was 6 years old, how to make a ceramic and fire it in the kiln and everything and glaze it and refire it. And I learned all that then. But now, I'm just about the mind, and I'm interested in anybody who can tell me about what is going on. And I'm not really finding that. And I search YouTube and I get Billy Carson. I get Black Magic 363. I get Dr. Be Serious, Rod Hayes. I get Dr. Delbert Dr. Delbert Blair, Bobby Hemmett, and those people. Rest their soul, who's gone on to lightness. I've crossed over more than once. And to know there was no heaven. I saw all my family there except a couple. It was like they were waiting on me in this waiting room. But it was for me to see them all at once. They gathered their energy. And I seen my neighbor when she got sick. I called her. I said, I had a dream about you. And you had a robe on. Your hair was tied up. And you went to the door and you was giving up. She said, you seen that? She said, yeah, I've been sick. And everybody came over here Sunday and got a plate. And they was leaving with food. I seen it. I seen her when she crossed over. Sitting on a chase. Driving a green Cadillac onto the block that we used to live on. So her energy is still there, and she's in a beautiful green Cadillac. And I seen her sitting on that chase just looking beautiful in her youthful years. And I didn't see her husband. I've never seen her husband. I saw Whitney Houston. I saw a lot. I've connected to Matt Damon's uncle or somebody from his past. There is a lot that is in us, but people want to call you cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But then how is it that I can prophesy and tell you I just seen your dog biting at your feet? How can I tell you I seen so-and-so with a broke hand and injured hand and caught the baby? How did I know that? I didn't do witchcraft when I was in the church doing it. Oh, she's a prophet. She got the gift. But when I stepped out of the church and started learning, it's bigger than that box that I've been put in of thinking I have to be this way or that way or I'm going to hell. There ain't a heaven, and this is hell. Your heaven is your higher consciousness. We must think on a higher level, a higher frequency, level up, as Sierra say. When you level up, can't nobody touch you when you go all the way to the top. But if you come down, focusing on what they did, focusing on this, focusing on now, they got you and they can touch you. Even though it's only so much they can do, because as the allegorical story says, that's my servant Job. You can do everything to him but kill him. They can do everything to me, but they couldn't kill me. So with that being said, don't mean they still ain't trying and won't continue to try. But I am who I am. And when my time comes, my time coming, I'll transition into something greater. Not lesser than, greater than. And I'm okay with that. I have a son who I love dearly. I love all my kids, but my daughters have disappointed me to the 100th power. Hurt me like sticking a knife in my heart. And then saying they have nothing to do with it, but every fucking white person, Indian person, African person, everybody saying my daughter had something to do with it. So why would these people lie? Then she say, because you talked about my parenting when I threatened to get my granddaughter. So that warranted you to put the dogs on me? Then I got people from my ex-husband's family gang banging. What'd I say about him? He wasn't there for his son. Period. Because if he couldn't have me, fuck his son. And that happens with men. They do it. They run off with their tail between the legs and say forget their offspring. I kept taking my son to him. Even my ex-mate would take the kid over there to let him visit because better he'd ride with me because for some reason he kept thinking he can touch me and violate my body. We've been divorced for years. Don't touch my breast. You're disrespecting me. So that energy, I didn't want nothing to do with. When he crossed over, I felt it and I felt sad. My son felt it and kept thinking he was going to die, but it was his dad. And I prayed. His dad comes to me. I pick up his energy all the time. The other day, I was angry with my daughter and how his energy, because it's what's on their mind and how they connect, I'm going to mess her face up. I was still picking up that energy, but I was venting for my daughter, but that came out my mouth, and I realized his energy was wrathful at that moment. And why is he bringing it to me? Is he trying to let me know he's angry about something he won't brought out? What is this about? But there are some other people that was connected to him with this game. So that come to me. So all of a sudden, my daughters feel, well, you didn't come to his funeral. I carried him. And I remember everything he said when he couldn't talk to you. For years, a lot of stuff I never went and told the other kids said and did. And then when I did, you tried to stop the other kids from talking. No, you're not going to shovel all your on me. And I got to carry that weight and never say nothing like I got to sit silently and you my mama and I'm your kid. That tramp had the nerve to tell me I'm going to listen to her now because she was working with that secret society. The fuck you mean I'm going to listen to you now? I didn't come out your womb. She disrespected me like something was wrong with me and I needed to play along and act like I was deranged or sick or my mind was fucked up because I had family members trying to get me committed to a fucking hospital. And the doctor came in and they interviewed me and they had put the bed light on, the alarm. So if I got out the hospital bed and tried to leave, they was trying to keep me in the hospital. Then you wonder why I don't fuck with them doctors like that. So when he evaluated me, talked to me, and he wanted to know, is there anyone who can validate your story, back it up? My son can. My son validated my story. This shit happened to me because he was present. And some of it happened to him. And why people want to act like these things that happen to us, we will be okay today, tomorrow, is just let it go. It's a process. Just like for days you did that shit, it's a process. Do I want some of them to die? Hell motherfucking yeah. Because they tried to kill me, eye for an eye. That's what I believe. I believe you're supposed to have your sword in one hand. And your balance is your heart in the other. And it comes a time. There's a time to laugh. There's a time to die. There's a time to mourn. There's a time for laughter. There's a time for war. And there's a time for peace. I know what the Bible says. So yes, I want them to rest in peace like they intended for me. Because you wouldn't have done that. How did I go from being in a home alone, not knowing anyone, having any car, anything, just stuck like Chuck, to public enemy number one? Stalk me, prey on me, degrade me, smelling my underwear and all that, which they probably stank because I had coffee leaking from me. Because when you eating off of the earth and you taking on caffeine, that caffeine is too strong. And your body expels it and it didn't smell right. And I could not figure out, I didn't have a discharge. I don't smell. What is this? It was coffee. But I'm very open. I'm very honest. I'm an open book. And that's liberation. That's freedom. And that's power. You can't hold me. You can't hold a secret over me. You can't act like I'm going to tell this. I tell it first. I tell it best because I was front and center. My granddaughter, she has been listening to her mama, which you got to understand what the hell she going through because her mama grab her by her hair and pull it out because she jealous. She ain't got none. Funny, she started betraying me. I think she got bipolar or something because about that age when it would happen, she started betraying me. Like about 20. And always being mouthy and complaining and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da and it kept getting worse. And she'd bring home some people that, how do you deal, not that we thinking we better, but what the hell are you doing? And she would mix herself with anybody. And then I'm supposed to accept it. Well, I understand that we're all human, so okay, I'm going to give this person a try. And they proved to be just what I thought first. Every time. Not one time. Just like I have the gift of joining couples. You'll be cool with this one and you'll be cool for that. But I can't find my own mate. Every time I look for a mate, it's the wrong mate. So my compass is off when it comes to me. I don't know if I was looking for love in all the wrong places. And I know that was true because I kept looking for a mother figure because I didn't have one. And I understood why I didn't have one now. It's because it had to make me who I was, and I couldn't have those earthly attachments to this my mother, this my aunt, No. I had to be free. And I am me. Is family important? Yes. Because who do you do things with? Your family. Why do we all on this journey find ourselves familyless? Because we don't believe in that indoctrination. But yet they don't even live by that indoctrination. They don't even understand what they're reading because they only getting it from one source. And they won't look outside that box. They'll read self-help books. They'll read Prophet so-and-so put a book out. But they won't go and study line upon line, precept upon precept. That means eating off other plates. That means studying to show thyself. That means the Indians know a lot. That means the Hispanics, the Mexicans, the this know a lot. We on that black, we got that melanin in us. We this, we that. Let me tell you. It's some Caucasians that's got more gift and power than you got. With all that melanin. And some of them is ratchet. Just like some black people is ratchet. So how we going to talk about one another when it's the same thing? Charge my phone. Because now it's saying my battery is running out. So yeah, bear with me in my thoughts. And if my video ends, I'll do a part 2. Okay. So yeah, I got it charging good. I've gotten ate up by I don't know what, fleas, ticks. Something has been biting me, and I know I had got a spider bite because I saw the 2 tentacles, his little bite things in one bite. But just my arm had swelled up and gotten bit real good. Anyway, I need to work on my screen today and put it back up so that I can have my window covered to keep some things from coming in. Some things I've done and having to redo. I need so many things, like with my power and wanting the ability to stand up and walk in my vehicle. But I am loved, and I loved everybody, but what I was hurt by everybody. Everybody. I can say something they done to hurt me. Because for a long time, I did what my aunt recognized I did. My great aunt died at 64 in 1991 from cancer. Doctor gave her 6 months. She lived for 1.5 years. And she was on her hospice bed, and she told me, don't wear your feelings on your sleeve. You wear your feelings on your sleeve. She was right. Because I'm an empath. I feel everything. Now, realizing they said my son was emotionally impaired, and they said his father was. What they were empathic. They could feel things, he and his father, and they picked up frequencies from people, and they responded. But sometimes our response isn't the right response. Just like, ooh, that's evil. She want eye for an eye. No, that's the right response. But now if I go out and I make it happen, maybe you can say that's the wrong response. But even then, I'll say, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. It was the right response. But I believe I don't have to get my hands dirty. I believe the spirit settles up the score. Like when I got poisoned, I heard the spirit plain as day tell me a line has been drawn, and they're here. And I drew all that. That drawing I showed, did I show that drawing? Yeah, they're here. Everybody talking about they're here. They are here. They've been here for a long time. They've been watching us, studying us. And only thing they interfere in is when you try to take another's life. Otherwise, they don't get involved. So they get involved when they want to use weapons of mass destruction because they don't want us to be taken out like that. Other than that, it's a part that we have to go through. And it was all that made me grow and know. And it was like I was so on cloud nine. I was so happy. And I was just, when I got my freedom, at first I was like, oh my God, and I wanted to faint. And I was so distraught, like, how could we have been lied to? Like, and I said, give me a drink. And I sent someone to the store to give me a drink because, hell, you told me I'm going to hell if I drink. And I've been feeling guilty about drinking. Now I'm finna drink. Get me a drink. If man is weary, give him a strong drink. I needed a strong drink to digest that truth and to see that we have been bamboozled, hoodwinked, and lied to for the massa, to suppress us. Because if you know what is in you, you'll know your power. And if you tap into, oh, that's a witch word, tapping into. If you tap into your power, you could put 1,000 to flight